Oh my God, it's too hot.
Oh, this is hot. Oh, this is hot. Oh,
It's been 6 years, and I'm still not used to this heat.
I
man.
know. It's been 6 years, Khalil. But hey, Khalil,
Yeah,
don't forget what our professor said.
he told us a lot of things. I mean, which one?
He said the key to success in Finland. If you remember, yes, he said the key to success in Finland.
Hey, we're late.
Oh,
We actually have an event right now. Let's go.
Let's go. Why did you cut my secret?
We're live.
Oh.
We are live.
I have a question for you. What if you have a city filled with many educational institutes, actually 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, there are a lot of institutions, but what's even more important is that you have tons of international talents. What if you have such a city and you have an active business region? What would you do? How can you get them together? Build a community. Let me tell you, you make an event and you call it Study and Stay in Turku. And you make it with a lot of participants, but even more importantly, you make it international. However, you don't get people in suits and bow ties so that they can tell you how to succeed in Finland.
Exactly. Instead, in today's program, we have international talents who, just like you, decided to one day come to Finland, to Turku, to study. And they stayed in Turku. Now, these people would be sharing their genuine, unique story of their journey. And at the end of the day, we would be also having a live panel discussion. Remember, this event is for you. So you will be having the opportunity to connect with these people, to ask them questions. It would not be a monologue. We would want you to interact and tell us what's on your mind. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the great event, second year in a row of Study and Stay in Turku. My name is Khalil, alongside with my brother, Tariq Umran. He's from Egypt. He's from the historical city of Cairo. I mean, look at him. Doesn't he look like a pharaoh?
A pharaoh? Well, excuse me. This is Khalil Shahramian, the Prince of Persia, all the way from Iran. But can't you see his smile? He has this charismatic smile. It seems like he's a dentist.
Excuse me, you're a dentist too.
Oh, okay.
We would be here today, so stay with us. Without further ado, we would love to go to the program of the day.
And first up, we have our first speaker of the day, and that is Kamila Sultanova. Now, the first time I met Kamila Sultanova, we were in a room with the ministries of education, with the ministries of economics, and we had a program called Friends of Finland. You see, Kamila is all the way from Uzbekistan, but she's also a very international person who is TEDx speaker, so an excellent talk is about to come, but also most importantly, she is plowing through the road less traveled to help build communities. She loves working with internationals. She speaks 5 languages, just like the Prince of Persia. And most importantly, she is in to give you a treat. So without further ado, please help me welcome Kamila Sultanova to the stage.
Hello, hello, hello. Turku, are you with me? So, hello everyone, and I will say it in Finnish. Mitä kuuluu Turku? So, my name is Camila Sultanova, and it's my absolute pleasure to stay here in Turku School of Economics with the University of Turku with all the different partners that made this event happen. And I just gave a big virtual hug to Tarek and Halil. Aren't they amazing? So, anyways, I'm here to tell you three things today. A little bit about my journey, which brought me from Uzbekistan to Denmark and then Finland, then how you can actually turn the city of Turku or anywhere you want to come to Finland or you are already residing in Finland, how can you turn it into community and really make it feel like yours and you belong? And the third, I will share some tips that you can screenshot and really figure out ways why is actually social capital important. Dignity is part of your life and success. And so really warm welcome. So Turku, actually, I found out is a very special place because it's of course first capital of Finland, but also a hard home of Aura River, and it's also home to Paavo Nurmi, one of the greatest runners in the world, Olympic champion. So really, it's a warm city, and I worked in shipping, and so there's a lot of big shipping, heritage here. So what makes me stand here today? I came as an international student from Uzbekistan. If some of you are listening, I know there's someone from Kyrgyzstan on the list, so hello for my fellow Central Asian. There is so many on the line with us today, and I want to say that Finland is the best place to engage and to really start your tribe and find your ways to fantastic different career options that there is. But you need to start from a student identity, start from like zero, and then figure out ways to say, okay, who is there, what are the networks, and what are the support networks that you can tap into. And it's, for me, was my way. I started in Denmark, and it was in 2002, so I came as a teenager, and for me, my savior guardians were my mentors and my teachers. So those were the first ones to really make me feel part of a Danish community. I worked in shipping, as I said already. I've had 7 years of shipping experience, and I studied communications in Aarhus Business School, so I didn't really get to work with communications. But anyhow, I increased my level of understanding what is logistics, shipping, and it took me to around the world as a girl from a double landlocked country to work with captains of the ships that sail in Amazon and in Singapore or in Bermuda. It was really fascinating to just be flexible. By the way, that job landed in the first financial crisis. That was my first crisis. Right now, I'm living my second. As a speaker, all the events are wiped out. I'm so happy to be here on stage. Halil, I could actually pay to be here right now. I'm serious, it's so nice. I mean, it's not about the lights or anything, but just really feel valuable and feel useful. And I'm not the essential profession right now, right? But anyhow, inspiration is so important. So in the sense of shipping career, I also I quit my job when I moved to Finland as a spouse, and as a spouse it was funny because I got a job already here through Copenhagen, and it was really easy to move. But my husband, who's Finnish, he thought that I'll just plug and play. And that wasn't easy. So Finnish society was also different, of course different from Denmark, but in Denmark they say rull, grød med fløde. Say it with me. Rull, grød med fløde. It's a Danish strawberry dessert. It's okay. If you fail, it's okay. You pass. It's really difficult to say it, but the Danish language was difficult. And then I moved here. I was like, oh shit, I need to learn Finnish, which I did actually. I went on 8 months of class, and I did a lot of different opportunities. So I volunteered my life to belong. So in Finland, last 6 years was super amazing because I got already the experience from Denmark, and Finland is the best experience for me that you understand the potential of one voice, and you can use that your initiativeness to really start and build up something that you really want to do or join and contribute. And this is something what we're talking right now. You see in COVID, how many volunteer stories have you heard around? There's been so much of social capital exchange. In Tallinn, there was a black guy delivering help to elderly lady. She never saw a black guy before. And these are beautiful things that people meet. They become more tolerant. And when you volunteer, it's like, you break stereotypes and shatter those ideas who can do what, So I know Finland has double reputations. There's one which is first country in work-life balance, third best country in innovativeness, first country in 3 times already happiest country in the world, which is the good news. But the bad news is 85% of the jobs are not advertised. Yeah. So what does this happen? It's also, been claimed as one of, really not nice racist countries in Europe. Ooh. But that's why I'm trying to make all my efforts to make diversity and inclusion tangible, personal, and profitable. So I work with experimentation in different municipalities in the city of Helsinki region, with different municipality of Vantaa, Espoo, and Helsinki. I run Hanken International Talent here now. And I work actually with public sector stakeholders. So I do lobbying. I do not just lobbying, but create success stories so that those of you who are listening here, you're represented in my stories. That we all have an innate need to stand out and to belong. So that 2 things we're trying to understand. So why diversity inclusion is the best way to better earning, better working, and better living. Because all the different researchers say that it's so much nicer when we are together, where it's much more fun. We innovate better products. We respect our customer base when we represent them at the offices, and it doesn't matter which diversity we're talking about, not just gender, and ethnic diversity. There's so many different, right now, inequalities which coronavirus brought out, and I'm just super happy that every magazine right now, business magazine, radio station, they're so talking about the need for unconscious bias training, the need to think differently, how we treat each other at work. Take COVID and just really bring it out to say how we want to be as ourselves. How can you bring the whole of a person and, to a study environment, to an office, to a study club or a hobby club. So these are the things that I do just in Helsinki, but also I promote diversity inclusion in Uzbekistan. So my way of building community and belonging was a lot through volunteering. And because it affected me so much, I promote this to my international students in Hanken School of Economics. I promote it through my NGO, which is Global Dignity Finland. It's a part of global NGO started by Crown Prince of Norway. And yes, it enables me to connect to different people around the world because I was initiative and I was hungry for connection. And something about identities, when you already are in a global space, you need to understand that in any city, in any community, we may have different ideals, what do I want to represent here? But you need to adopt different identities. I speak Russian, I speak Uzbek, I speak Danish, and all these communities are part of me in Helsinki. I go to Danish embassy as hey, har du det dejligt? Det er rigtig godt at være her i dag. Then I go to Uzbek community and say, assalamu alaikum, yaxshimisiz, in choychasmın, paloyimiz, mınamaklams. Then I go to Russian party. Ну, здравствуйте, ну что мы сегодня будем с вами делать? Understand? So there's different multiple identities in you. You don't need to think that if you only speak one language, if you only come from one country, that puts you in a bucket. So think of these identities that enables you to be helpful to your future, university space, to a future internship space, or to a future employer, right? And what is also interesting right now is the community building part. Corona brought us really uber locally. I have become such a local person in Helsinki. I live in Eastern Helsinki called Vuosaari. Vuosaari is east, and I became so attached to it with that forest, and there is a lot of ethnic shops, and I feel I can always buy my fresh coriander, and it really brings me feel okay, wow, these are things that really matter to me. And so I know that in COVID there's been a lot of inequality and also tensions between ethnic groups. So I wanted to show who are the community builders in Helsinki area. So I did a webcast. You can check it out. It's called Rise in Unity. So Rise in Unity because I believe in power of collective action. When I didn't feel welcome, I went through different volunteering options. I ran political campaigns for my friends. She's now a member of European Parliament. I've been doing stuff in the Helsinki region with Global Dignity for secondary school students. And that also brought me to meet Obama. That was really cool. And then I also did stuff with other NGOs here this summer. And you know, that Rise in Unity webcast brings those people that help me or I help them. And it shows that to really build a community and make it your own is first you need to do what you like. It's so funny, but you need to know like, hey, what drives me? What gives me energy? So you do that. The second thing is that because you like and you know what you're doing, you have your different, you study biochemistry, you study business, information, intellectual property law, whatever. You take that into use and you harness your passions, you write about it, you build up online presence that enables you to meet like-minded people. So you join a community. Any Facebook group right now, everything is online, And so the third thing, once you're part of the community and support it, you get a kick out of it. You get engaged. You visit a webinar or a Zoom, and you have that online connection. Right now, I mean. And then the third thing is that enables you to build confidence, presence, and that worthiness that say, hey, I'm ready to build myself up for a larger community, So these are the things that I learned from the webcast community building. There's something that is new for me. And I want to advise you to really start being curious in your environment right now, and that you can actually, right now, where you are right now, you are shaping a community with your action and with your inaction. So in that sense, you cannot expect that in Finland that things will be served to you on a silver platter. And we have this lifelong learning policy that we always need to be upgrading our skills 10% on year on average. And that how you make yourself relevant to your future employer and just also feel happy here is really up to yourself, being curious and being proactive. So what I advise right now to do to build a community, I will have small links for you, but I would advise to you to use the webinars, Zooms, LinkedIn Live, any of those sessions that you're having right now to build a authentic connection to the speakers, to the audience, to those people and ask relevant, interesting questions where you're actually authentic. So once you have the curiosity, you then try to tap into those speakers in Finland just to recognize who are these people, why are they so interesting to you? You tap in, you find out who they are, and then you reach out to them. They're actually really approachable in Finland. I met some of the most amazing people that would be oh my God, I can just talk to him and her and say you, not Mr. or Mrs., That power structure here is super cool. It's non-existent. I mean, of course, you need to treat each other well. But so when you have the curiosity, you have the context, find out who they are, and then you show yourself relevant. Is it what's your ask, right? You need to be quite direct what you ask, not hey, I want your job, but try to say how can the person be interested in you, and then try give you either insight, recommendation, and it really works well. This is how I done some of the greatest events, and I call today and employ to run for companies. Engage companies to become mentors for international students. And this is where how we're really driving impact. So with that, I want to say that some of the links here that I want to recognize is that those are the links to both in Turku and also in Helsinki, national platforms. Just screenshot it and see what are the ways that you can tap into communities even before coming here. Yeah. So one of the first ones you see, Turku Empower Wednesdays. I want to recognize one person who's actually here in the room. Her name is Lucia Vuillermin. She had a really difficult last name. Yeah, she showed me the finger, okay? So Lucia Vuillermin, she comes from Italy, and she started a project within International Working Women of Finland, and a lot of different stakeholders who are supporting her events and lots of student international focused events that help you also find your space under the Finnish sun. So do reach out to Empower Wednesdays, and maybe you can also reach out and connect to them, or maybe you can also do your own events. It's an interesting time we live in, because I just encourage you, don't be just a consumer. Be creator. This is I mean, I know I'm super like anxious and like not anxious, like energetic. I want to do all these things, and this is just in my nature. But just do it, and this is the best part in Finland. I mean, we need you as presidents, as NGO leaders, as education, like teachers, career counselors. We need representation. And if you want to run for office, I'll coach you personally, because I've been coached by European Political Mentoring Network a few years back. And Sirpa Pietikäinen, MEP, who is a Finnish member of parliament, she's really approachable. So run for it. There is no, like, I know there is barriers, but I think if you really think higher and dream louder, you can really do it. Okay, so what else I want to tell you today? I think what I want to tell you is that the jobs here are super hard to find. Corona didn't do us any joy or any pleasure. 85% of the jobs in Finland are not advertised, so this is why you need to build social capital. And that social capital is building trust to yourself, to that you matter, your perspectives matter, and that knowing that someone trusts in you and you tap into the communities because people want to engage, they love speaking English, they love to hear all these different languages, you know, like just come to Itäkeskus, just to, you know, where I live in my hood, and you'll see how different vibes that we have here. You want to also think that social capital is not one-way street, that somebody's going to serve it to you. So be curious, find your context, and you have the relevance. Curious, context, and relevance, okay? And then when they reject your story, when they reject you, you need to understand they don't reject you personally for the job or interview, whatever. They reject the story. So just like, you know, tweak how they change it and work on your, CVs, your beautiful online social presence, how you really reach out and show your passion for your job, for your professional field. This is actually one of the differences that I have learned. I graduated 2008. And so you needed to have an internship or a traineeship to get a full-time job. Today you need to have internship and traineeship, and you should need to have a very fancy LinkedIn profile, yeah? So what else have I told you today? I want you to think that whenever you find yourself in a way when you want to connect really to people, you can use online tools to really serve you. Be helpful, be valuable, and be authentic. I think that really works in Finland. And just be direct in some of the ways, because Finland is suoran asian. It's like, cut the crap and get to the point. So yeah, what else I want to say is, just 1 second. Okay, there was my notes. So what I want to say is, whenever other hour is uncertain, I want you to be creative. And if you do want to tap into more of diversity and belonging, inclusion, how to really like find and build your community within your sphere. It doesn't have to be in Turku. It can also be in Helsinki, in Finland in general. I invite you to join my webinars and sign up on an email here, and we can really connect and prepare you for a ride where you or your spouse, or if you're considering to move to Finland, you're going to remove that barrier of insecurity and see who cares about me. People really want you to succeed. So are you ready for your Finnish adventure? Because I'm ready to serve you, so let's connect and belong. Thank you.
Wow, this was amazing. By the way, guys, I have to give a disclaimer. As you guys heard, she's willing to help and she's coaching. And as a matter of fact, as soon as we were talking on the phone, this is me. Dude, hello? Hey, Tarek, I was just coaching a group in Vantaa and we were talking about pitching. So she is one of the best coaches, I have to say. And if she gives you this, please take her advice. Now, as we said, guys, earlier, we will have a chat box, and we already have a few questions. I'm not checking my Instagram, promise. We're actually checking the questions right now.
Okay.
And our first question is actually very interesting. It comes from Wenja.
Okay.
And she's asking if we have any NGOs related to gender or minorities in Turku or in Finland.
Absolutely. Thank you for the question. There are a few of them, and I would recommend Neighborhood Mothers. I gave an interview in the summer how to really strive as an immigrant woman, and they're doing an amazing job. It's not just for mothers. There's also Mothers in Business that actually connects people with minority backgrounds and Finnish women. That's really amazing. Empower Turku, Wednesday Turku, they bring a lot of women from an array of diverse backgrounds. So really when you go in and search either in English or in Finnish, you can find that. But Naapuriaidit, Empower Wednesday Turku, Mothers in Business, and then International Working Women of Finland.
Wonderful. And speaking of empowering Wednesdays in Turku, I'll be coaching myself as well.
Yes, in December.
On the 2nd of December. So join us, guys, there. We have acing your interviews techniques. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much again for an amazing talk. Well, I'll just pick another question from the list. So Russia is actually asking, how do you reach out in a Finnish society? Any tips like for different approaches, like connecting with people?
Yes. So what I did before I knew I was going to move to Finland, I found like an Uzbek community and Russian community on Facebook, and I started like haggling them like, hey, what's up? I'm moving here, so what should I know beforehand? But no, I mean, of course I could just like go individually or go to community, but really think of first the communities in language that you speak is much easier, but that's not everything, because there's also divisions in groups, and like not everything is like according to your interests. Then in university, you can also find a lot of groups that offered by the student societies. Like in Hanken, for example, there's beautiful sports associations. There's so many different ways you can volunteer. You can get credits for volunteering. It's so amazing.
Nice.
So a lot of times just tap into what brings you to Finland. If it's a study, university is your first stop. And then you go on Facebook and knock yourself out.
Oh my God.
Based on interests.
Of course. And
Yes.
you know, that you mentioned Hanken, you have the award-winning community building and talent attraction.
Well, yes, it's part of the business Finland's talent attraction retention practices. It's not wow. It's difficult, Khalil.
It's difficult.
Every year.
Wow, difficult.
It's it's maybe a few years. It's going to be like just a walk in the park. But right now we need to believe in mentoring and how we can drive the mentoring into talent recruitment, because we want to say you give 6 times lunches with the student, and then maybe engage 2-3 months in an internship or a traineeship. And after that, there's actually companies hiring these people. And we really opened the doors for students who never been in that office, or like companies that never recruited a student. And now they're returning companies. So I think mentoring is a really beautiful initiative. And also ask for that if you're coming here and say, where can I mentor? Ask them for university or college. Or either in TE-toimisto, immigration stuff, centers,
Wonderful. And our next question actually is a hard one. Be prepared.
Okay.
So if finding a job is hard,
Right.
why even stay here?
Why stay here? Well, the ring is here.
Oh.
No, of course you can move out. There's statistically 2% of global workforce. They will be always moving around. But for
2%.
me, I'm just a sucker for nature. I'm 36. I've been traveling around the world, and I'm really liking this base because in Finland, you have space and you have like. I like Denmark too, don't get me wrong. And
Sure.
I think what makes you stay here is that you need to understand what really drives you. It's not just the salary, or it's not just the job. There's also other values that are important to you. I feel so valued in this society, and I feel I can give so much to Finland, and I actually use Finland as strategic location. It's one of the best countries in the world, and if I want to go out and make a change, like either social entrepreneurship or startup, people will take you much more seriously when you're in Finland rather than you sit in some other country which is maybe have problems getting a loan, getting funding, and getting just that support. So I think the equality, the freedom, the engagement, and my husband keeps me here.
We love your energy and your passion, Camilla. And we actually have a interesting question actually from Aslihan. He's
Okay.
also very interested in this fire and his passion and energy. And he's actually asking if you have any coaching or training courses. He's planning to come to Finland to study
Right.
educational science.
Okay.
And he would like to come here for the next year, and he would love to get connected with
Yes.
you and like.
I hope you got my email. So hello@camilasultanova.com. So we will be having these webinars, and I want to say welcome to everyone. You are welcome here. Look at us today. Representation. We have so many people that are just making great things happen, and we need you to be part of the change. So just welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Camilla. Thank you very much. And to move on with the day, we would be going on to see a short video that was made by the organizers of this event, the people who worked hard day and night to bring this amazing time together. And it's brought to you by City of Turku, Turku Business Region, University of Turku, Åbo Academy, Turku University of Applied Sciences, and Novia University of Applied Sciences. So let's go and take a look at this amazing video.
And welcome back, everybody. And we are very excited for the interactions that we already had. This was fantastic questions. Some of them actually were already difficult, but having such great speakers, it's never a problem.
Next up, we would be having Juan. How often would you hear that a 9-month exchange program to study in Turku would turn into a 9-year stay in Finland? Juan Fernandez is here with us from Helsinki to give us the tips and tricks on how did his journey end up with him staying in this amazing place. We would have Juan with us very soon, so let's take a look at his amazing story.
Hi, good evening everyone. I'm really happy to be here with you all at this Study and Stay event in Turku. My name is Juan and I'm gonna share with you today my experience, my personal story, and also some tips for you with the job search. So first of all, few things about me. So I'm a talent acquisition professional. I work with a company called LeadDesk here in Helsinki. I'm originally from the north of Spain, from Asturias, and I have been living in Finland since 2011. Now I live in Helsinki with my husband, and among my hobbies, I have reading. So reading is really something that I enjoy, and I think it's great for these Corona times because it's something I can still do. So I love fiction especially, and I'm also interested in the current affairs and keeping up to date with politics and business topics as well. Great, so I'm gonna tell you a little bit about my exchange first and how I ended up here, or more concretely in Tampere, where I came in 2011. So I started my bachelor degree in business administration in Spain in 2009, but I knew from the start that I wanted to study abroad and to do something different. So when I had the first opportunity to go abroad, I took it, and I tried to choose the most faraway place from home, basically. That happened to be Tampere, where I ended in 2011. So that was a great exchange year. I was for a year here in Tampere University, and I had a lot of time to for everything, really. For studies, I was learning many things at university, but I also had time to attend all the events and social life, and travel around, discover the city and the country, and I think I really made the most out of my exchange, and it changed my life, really, because I'm still here so many years after it, and really enjoying it so far. After my exchange, I thought that perhaps I can stay a bit longer here, so I continued after my exchange for one more summer. Then I had to go back to Spain to wrap up my studies, finish up everything, and once that chapter was closed, I came back to Finland in 2014, already with the idea of establishing myself and being here in the longer term as well. So my career path, and here we have some dates and the companies where I have been working. Started in a company called Sports Tracker. That was my first job in Finland, as I was doing their customer support and marketing. It was a small company. They have a mobile app for fitness, so to track your sports activity and your workouts. And that was a great opportunity to work for the first time in a Finnish company, and it was a maternal leave cover, so a bit less than a year, but still a great opportunity to have that first experience, which is really important, because once you have that one, then it's much easier to go and find the next jobs. And that was the case with Catchbox, that I found almost after Sports Tracker, which was another startup, a small company doing a microphone that is a throwable microphone for events. Looks like a cube, and you pass it around by throwing it, so that it's very engaging, and it's a way of breaking the ice for conferences and lectures and things like that. And there again, I was working with marketing, customer support, doing all kinds of jobs, because in startups you are usually working in many different areas. But after those two jobs, I had a bit of a period where I was not sure what to do. I had a degree in business, which is very general. You study many things, but nothing too concrete. So I tried many things. I was, for example, at a company doing cold calling. I was working as well at the university for some time as an intern. But basically, then it came an opportunity that started all my career, basically, which was an internship in recruitment. So one summer I took that chance to work with a very, very small firm. Well, we were basically my boss and me. And that summer, very intense 3-4 months, I learned everything about recruitment, headhunting, and also we were doing technical roles, so how to interview developers, software developers. And that was a great opportunity for me to understand that this could be a profession for me. Recruitment and talking with people, interviewing is something that I really like, and from that I started building my career. So the last couple of years I have been working at a agency called Finder Seekers, where I was doing software development recruitments as well, so mainly headhunting for different clients here in the Helsinki region. There, after being for a couple of years with different consultant assignments, I have joined now Lead Desk in September 2020 as a talent acquisition consultant. So again, I'm working with recruitment, but this time as part of the team, and we have an amazing team of 130 colleagues in different cities in Europe. So I'm now recruiting for different roles and in different cities, which is really exciting. I'm really happy to be part of the company. So I want to give you some ideas about the job search, how to find that first one, the most difficult, definitely. I mean, the hardest one to find is the first job, and the first job in Finland. And even Finns who have been studying abroad, for example, they have challenges to find the first job if they come back to Finland. So once you have done that, when you have that done, then that's going to be much easier. So you need to have just a bit of patience for the job search. Some of the tips that I have for you is, well, nothing too new, but be very active. This is, I think, the number one tip. Be very active in the job search. Open your eyes for all possible opportunities. You are doing so already because you are at this event. A great opportunity for network, and really nice that you can be meeting other people, and you never know. You never know what's gonna come out of every single event, every single occasion that you have. Also, be very active in LinkedIn. If you don't have a profile, go there already and register, because it's the best thing you can do for your own personal brand. Try to build a personal brand there, and be active, interact with people, engage in conversations, and you will see that networks in Finland are really quite small. For example, the recruiter community in Finland, in Helsinki particularly, we know each other. It's really small, so it's very easy to get noticed in a way when you start to be active in the different groups that there are, and the different conversations. Some places to search for job, apart from the typical ones and Mall and the other job boards from the university, those are good. But I would recommend as well going for the not so typical ones. For example, the Hub. The Hub is a website for startup jobs and small company jobs. They mainly have that kind of positions there. There are others like Duunitori or LinkedIn themselves. They have their great job boards as well. So go ahead and check the different opportunities. Try to spend some time every day, every week with the job search. And engage with the recruiters. For example, if you see a phone number there of the recruiter, go and ask questions. As a recruiter, I really like when candidates have questions for me, because this shows interest. So it's something that I definitely appreciate. Try, of course, not to be too pushy. Of course, there is a limit for that, and some candidates can be a bit too much. So yeah, try to find that sweet spot, and without being too annoying for the recruiter, but at the same time really active and going for the opportunity. There are many different things that you can apply for, and one is the internships. You can also send open applications as well. Those some people say that they have worked for them. I have never had luck with those. But then summer jobs are also another possibility, and they are a very, very popular way to land the first job in Finland. And the time for applying for them starts almost now in January. I think you already can start looking for the summer positions, which are typically fixed term for the summer months, but they don't require previous experience. So it's a good chance to land that first opportunity. Regarding the job applications, and this is something that you probably have heard, that you should personalize, you should send a very careful cover letter, and apply for the roles that are tailored to you. And that's something that it really hasn't worked for me. So I'm giving here a bit of opposite advice to the common advice that you hear out there. So I think if you can choose between sending little applications, very personalized, or sending a lot of application, a bit less personalized, I would go for that, because it's really a numbers game. You need to send many applications to get noticed, and of course you cannot mass send thousands of applications, but try to send many applications to any job that you see potential, more or less, because it's really a numbers game. So once you have sent a few dozens of applications, then you will start getting some calls back, hopefully. And it's really important to be very active in that and not to waste too much time with personalization, because it really affects your morale as well. For me, it was really hard to think that I need to now personalize every cover letter, change every cover letter, and think that maybe the recruiters will not even read my CV. So that's not so nice and not so motivating in the long run. But then I want to share some of the things that have worked for me and what kind of things you can try. The first of all will be to try to find what is unique to you. What is your unique value proposition? In my case, when I was looking for my first job in Finland, I thought that, well, because I'm a Spanish speaker, that's my native language, so I thought I would search for positions where Spanish would be a plus, or would be required even. And it happened to be at Sports Tracker, where they have a large Spanish-speaking customer base. So it was definitely a plus that I speak the language, because then I could engage with the users in my own native language, and they saw it as a plus. It can be language, it can be something else, your ability, your skills, your education, but try to find what is that makes you unique and different from the other people around you, and that way you can highlight that in your application, because sometimes in job applications, people use common phrases like I'm really motivated, I'm really hardworking. Those are good, but sometimes they seem too vague and too abstract, and I think recruiters, we prefer to see concrete things and very specific information. Regarding the statistics, this is the point 2, and I talk about that little bit before, but here I also mean apply to smaller companies and startups. So try to apply to those roles that are not so popular, or you can do that as well, of course, and you can apply to large companies. I personally was never successful with them, but you can still try it. But what I want to say is that if you are applying to a small company, to a startup, you have much more chances of being noticed, because there are less applications, and if the recruiter has a handful of applications, then just statistically it's much easier that you will get noticed. So that's really my number one advice, is here the number 2, but that's probably the most important, that has worked the best for me, because I never got to any of the big companies, not even to an interview, not even to a phone call with any large company. Actually, I think the company where I work now, we are 130, and it's the largest company I have worked in my career. So yeah, try to go for those, and they are of course harder to find, because they are maybe not posting their job positions in all the websites, or in the most typical boards, but you can find them, for example, in the hub and through your community. You try to find in your local community. In Turku, I'm sure there are many startups as well, and there is some community that you can try to get into and follow the events, follow what they are doing, and try to engage with them. And then finally, regarding the Finnish language, consider Finnish as one skill more. And this really changed my whole view on the Finnish language when I started to apply for a job in the first years, because sometimes you think that you need to have a really high level of Finnish, or that Finnish is really a must to find a job. Well, it really helps, but you just need to see it as one skill more, and you probably have many other skills, we all have many different skills, so the language is just one more. So that way it's easy to keep motivated and not to be too disappointed when you see that many jobs are requiring it. And of course it's really important to learn it, so you can keep doing that on the side and try to achieve a level that is conversational, that it helps you in the everyday, and then companies will be more confident to hire you if you can, for example, follow a meeting in Finnish even though you cannot speak that much. That I think that has helped me to get my first jobs in Finnish or with Finnish language, because you don't need to speak that much, but at least people don't need to change the language just to talk with you. So those are some of the advices that I have for you, and it's more things that have worked for me. Being really active. You never know when something is gonna appear. So it's really important to keep the motivation high, to keep yourself engaged and active in the job search, and also very active in the different channels. For me, for example, as a foreigner that doesn't have, or at least I didn't have any network in Finland when I started, I had to start building it little by little, no? So being in, for example, in LinkedIn, that was really, really important. How I landed some of my jobs was through replying to recruiters in LinkedIn to their post, for example, and that's something that you can do. Be active and try to see what is happening around, and be engaged in your own community. So that is all that I wanted to share with you regarding my experience and some of my tips. I will be really happy to listen to your questions and to have a little discussion now. Of course, we can, after the event, stay in touch. You can add me on LinkedIn. If you want, we can have a little chat. I can check your CV, for example. So yeah, let's stay connected afterwards. And now we can answer your questions. So please now go ahead with those. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Juan, for this amazing story and amazing journey that you had, and sharing with us all those great tips. And we have to thank you especially for giving the audience the possibility to check their CVs. I think that's going to be a lot of CVs in your email. So good luck.
But Juan, can you hear us clearly?
Yes, I hear you fine.
Wonderful, wonderful. So Juan, we would like to, we actually have a very active now question and answer chat box, and we don't know where to begin, but there's so many great questions. Would you like to start, Khalid?
Absolutely. Let me just go ahead and pick one question. It comes from Swati. So she'll be asking, does having reference person in the CV, is it mandatory for like applying for a job position in Finland?
Well, references are super important, and it's really good. I don't think you need to necessarily mention them in the CV. It of course depends how much things you have there. If it's already quite crowded, well, perhaps not. But otherwise, you can always write their name, position, and a phone number, and that's really good. And definitely, it's something that Finnish companies are paying a lot of attention. We always do reference checks.
Wonderful, thank you. Now, Juan, one thing we can share also with our viewers is that at some point of your job search, we're going to get personal, Juan, but you said that you gave up. Now, could you tell us a little bit about that story?
Yes. it has it at some point it got really just too hard to get rejections, and I started to send applications, and I saw I was getting nowhere. And then that was really very frustrating when you are for many months applying and nothing was happening. Luckily, my husband was really patient, and he helped me in that task. And he in that very hard moment for me, he started sending my CV to companies, because he also believed in the power of numbers. And then at some point I started to get some calls, at least, and that when you start getting the calls, then your mood then improves immediately,
Yes.
because you see that at least someone is seeing your CV, and then that helped me a lot to recover. But yes, at some of the moments it was really difficult. Few months of nothing and no reply. So after that it came much easier once I started having the first interviews.
Yes, yes, it sometimes gets really hard, but it seems that persistence is the key word here.
And of course, having
Definitely.
a great support.
Yes, that's true.
Well,
Yeah, have to thank for that.
One of the questions that we got is also like, it's a very human question. So to what extent does the cultural acceptance happens here in Finland?
Well, that's a really hard question.
Well, that's Osama to thank.
Yes, thank you for the great question. And it's more of sometimes companies are thinking about the cultural fit. So is this person gonna fit? But luckily, we are now more and more thinking of cultural add. What is this person bringing to our culture? How we can improve our culture? And many companies in Finland, they see that if they want to grow, they cannot stuck to the same kind of backgrounds, the same kind of people and their friends, because that's not sustainable. If you want creative ideas, if you want innovation, then you need to bring different kind of profiles. And luckily, that's changing in the mindsets of many employers. So they are considering more and more the cultural add as well, and not just the fit.
very, very nice point. And speaking about culture and integrating different cultures, we have a question from Angel, and she's asking if the work culture in Finland is quite different from your past experience and work culture in Spain.
Yes, that's interesting question, because I don't have actually work experience from Spain, or no. Actually, I started very young. I moved to Finland when I was 20. So my first job experience, proper jobs, were in Finland. But yeah, definitely there are many things that are very different, and I appreciate, especially from Finland, the work life balance, so that you when you are off for the day, you are off, and you are not supposed to get any calls or anyone after hours, for example. That's very respected. That's, I think, the biggest difference, perhaps. Also, the lunch breaks are typically much shorter in Finland.
Oh yeah, they're very.
They're very short.
I mean, Khalil eats a lot, so we get you, Juan. Now, one interesting point is about using the Finnish language. You mentioned in your talk that it's a big plus point, or it's a plus point to keep in your arsenal. How important is it to have the Finnish language when trying to find a job here?
Yeah, well, as said, it shouldn't be something that makes you feel stuck, and that okay, without that there is no point in trying to get jobs. Definitely it will help, but at least in the capital region, I think there is enough supply of jobs, let's say, for English speakers. But of course, if you have at least some intermediate fluent level of understanding, that will really help you, especially to reduce kind of like the perceived risk from the employer, that they don't feel that they need to I don't know, change the documentation, for example, just for you, for example. So it's a really good thing to learn and to keep studying Finnish. But if you are not there yet, let's not stuck with that, and just keep searching for the jobs in English.
Amazing. Well, maybe we can have the last question and go back to all the CVs that you're going to get in your inbox, Juan.
We'll give you some time.
We have a question from Umme. He's asking if is there any specific format for the CVs in Finland?
Well, there is, depends on the country. Some countries, for example, the standardized formats are more common. In Finland, there is no need for any standardized format, but I think the golden rule is to keep it short. So 1-2 pages. I have seen CVs that are several pages where there is a big detail of every project and every single thing person has done, and that's really not not a good thing, because the recruiters, they don't have time to read the 8 pages of CV, so that we need to make the clear things, like the important things, very clear in the CV. So I recommend just to stick to 2 pages maximum, and there is no need for any specific format.
Short and sweet. Thank you very much for all the tips and for your great talk, Juan. And thank you very much for being with us all the way from Helsinki here. Have a nice day.
Great.
Wish you a pleasant week.
Goodbye,
Juan.
Thank you. It's
Goodbye.
been a great event.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Well, I mean,
That
all
was
these,
amazing.
yeah, that was amazing. And all these great stories, you know,
Yeah.
going out there, connecting with people makes me think of the day we were in the sauna.
Oh, which one?
I mean, the day we were in the sauna by the beach, we were like sitting at a corner of the sauna, and on the other side of the sauna we saw a gentleman, and then we thought, hey, we've seen this man somewhere. And I claim I have a very good photographic memory,
Excellent memory.
and whatever I did, I could not remember who he was. So I turned to Tarek. I'm like, hey, Tarek, do you remember where did we meet him? I mean, we were just waving at him, and he was on the other side. Do you remember where we meet him? And then he was like, of course, it's Mikko. We met him. He's the CEO of this big dental company. We met him in the International Dental Conference in Helsinki. How can't you remember Mikko? And I was like, oh my God, Tarek, your new diet, he stopped eating carbohydrates. I told him, your new diet is actually working and making you much smarter. You could actually remember Mikko. I took the liberty to go sit next to him, and I wanted to take all the credits. So I turned to Mikko. I told him, oh, Mikko, it's very good to see you again. I mean, last time we met in the dental conference in Helsinki, we talked about going to your sauna, and look at the coincidence, we're in a sauna again. He just looked at me and he was like, I'm not Mikko, I'm Lauri. I know you both are dentists, but I met you guys in the Turku School of Economics when you were giving me and the other alumni course in business storytelling. At that moment, I just wanted to go and get some air.
Yeah, it was too hot. It was too hot for Khalil. And I just jumped in and I wanted to save the day and said, yes, of course, Khalil. It's Lauri. How could you forget that? We met him at our pitching workshop.
That's our friendship. That's our friendship. But it's all about going and connecting with people, I have to say.
Yes.
Yeah. Speaking about sauna, you had something to
Oh
to
yeah,
tell us,
oh
I
yeah.
guess.
The secret to success in Finland.
Okay, yeah.
You see, because when my professor he came to me and he said, Tarek, your PhD project is this important. However,
Oh my God!
when
I think we got our panelists. I think we have to move on to the discussion with
Okay.
panelists, but
well,
I hope we'll have time for this success story.
yeah, clearly. Well, without further ado, this is the most exciting part of the day because we have 4 international panelists and we were going to ask them very intriguing questions, and you get the chance to also ask your very own questions in the Q&A section at the end of the last section of the day. So without further ado, guys, let's go to the panel discussion. Welcome back, everybody. This is the final part of the day, the panel discussion. We have esteemed guests with us here today, and we're so excited to be hosting this from the sauna seat. So it's going to be absolutely hot here, but we will also share very personal things. So without further ado, we can already introduce our panelists. On my right side, I have Elizabeth Etta. And she actually came here for her PhD. She can tell us a little bit more about that. Elizabeth?
Hi, Tarek. Nice to be here and nice to see all of you looking beautiful and amazing. Yeah, so I'm Elizabeth Ita, as you rightly said. I came here for my master's actually in 2008. So I came for my master's in social sciences. After my graduation, I moved on to study for my PhD in 2011 when I enrolled. I obtained my PhD in 2018 alongside raising 3 beautiful kids.
Oh, that's adorable.
Yeah. So
wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much, Etta, for the lovely introduction. And again, on my right side, we have Lynn. Lynn actually is a very interesting guest that she agreed to be here on a very short amount of time, and we are very appreciative of her because she's very busy. She's in the IT world. So without further ado, I'll give the microphone to Lynn to tell us a little bit about her and how did she end up being here in Finland.
Yeah. Thank you. So I'm Linh and I'm from Vietnam. So I have been in Finland for more than 5 years. I came here in 2015 for my master degree in global innovation management. And after that, right after my graduation, I continue my work life at McGregor as a trainee. And then I was promoted to a full-time position after 4 months. And I'm working at information management project coordinator.
Information management.
Yeah. And there's lots of things because I'm from business side and I'm working for like part IT, part business, so I have to learn a lot. Yeah, but it's quite interesting, I could say. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And that's very impressive, how to mix IT in the business world.
Thank you, guys. And here on my left side, we have Sheila Ashtiani. I believe she has lived in this amazing place for the longest. You can tell us your story better.
Hello, Tarek and Khalil. Thank you guys for letting me be a part of this show. And hello, everyone back at home. Yes, I have moved to Finland since '94 with my family through the help of UNICEF. And since then, I have studied in Swedish and also Finnish. And then I have graduated from TUAS 2015, and I studied international business. I have my bachelor degree from there, and I have worked in several kind of jobs and positions actually. So, but my latest is insurance specialist at the moment. Nice to be here.
Thank you very much, Sheila, and we can't wait to hear more from you. And we also have Sara Sahragard. I actually had the pleasure of working with Sara in one of the events that was in Boost Turku, and together with her team, they had organized an amazing cruise, Boost cruise. So I had the pleasure of meeting Sara beforehand. But tell us more about yourself, Sara.
Thank you for the nice words. Hello, everybody, and I'm Sara. I'm originally from Iran, and we moved with my husband in 2016. He got admitted from Åbo Academy. That's one of the reasons that we came to Finland. I came from the background, engineering background in architectural field, and then I switched to the IT Telecom administration in my country. And here I felt that I need to fill the gap, and I decided to join to the Turku business school. So I joined the business administration program in Turku University of Applied Sciences, and right now I'm doing my master's in Turku University in the field of global innovation management.
Wonderful. So we have colleagues here. All right. Well, that is wonderful. And to make the CVs, now that we've already discussed the CVs and everything, let's just throw the CVs away and let's get quite personal. That's why we're here in the sauna. So we can start with Elizabeth. Elizabeth, you have a very interesting story that has a struggle. So we're going to get quite deep.
yeah, sure.
Maybe tell us a little bit about that story.
Okay. Which story exactly?
The one with a happy ending.
Okay, actually, So I enrolled for PhD studies. You know, when you think of doing a PhD from my background, what we know is that everyone with a PhD ends up in academia, being a lecturer, being a researcher, and all of that. So when I enrolled for PhD, I knew that I was going to have an amazing career in academia. But that wasn't my reality. So some years into PhD, I saw that things were not going to end up that way. And my contract was ending at the university, and I was thinking, what do I do next? Actually, I was unemployed. After my PhD, I was unemployed for about 1 month, and then I got a call from one of the professors who I'd worked with for 2 months. And she called me up and told me that there's this opening in her project for 2 months, if I would be interested to come back to the university and work with her. But I was like, oh my God, it's not happening again. So what do I do with 2 months? So, you know, when you get into a new job, 2 months is a time for you to adapt in that working space, in that environment. It's not a time for you to produce results. So I had that pressure on me, like, can I really deliver in 2 months? So, but I thought of rejecting the offer, but then I went for it because I didn't have anything at the time. I have bills to pay. I have kids looking up to me. So what do? I accepted the position, but then that was my amazing breakthrough, taking that job. Because when my contract was ending after the 2 months, she introduced me to a colleague of hers out of academia. And that is how she told me that there is this lady who owns Clanet. Clanet is an online learning platform. And she also owns Graphogame. Graphogame is an early childhood literacy game development and distribution company. So that she has told them about me, about my amazing work at the university, and that these people would like to meet with me. So I contacted them and introduced myself to them. And they were so happy to get me contact them. So they responded and like, can we set up a meeting? Can we meet immediately?
Thank you very much, Elizabeth. I'm very sorry to cut you, but before you continue, it's a message from the director to everyone to maybe hold the microphone a little bit closer and talk a little bit louder. Thank you.
All right. So we started talking. It started as an informal conversation with with my current employers. And it took some time. So it was just like, what do you do? They really wanted me to be in the company, but they were looking for an opening for me, what I can really offer the company. So we kept talking, like we had about 4 different meetings, just trying to figure out what I would really do for them. And finally, we came up with the position of a project director, which I'm now occupying in the company.
Wow, project director.
Yep.
From academic PhD, standardized postdoc position.
Yeah, so I've been applying for postdoc positions after my PhD, where you know how challenging and competitive it is.
Absolutely.
So, you know, some of us, especially for international students, it's very, very challenging.
Yes.
And most of us end up not having
absolutely, and this is
that
something
funding.
really nice that I was telling you. I wish like I had people who tell me, okay, the reality of academia, it's like you have to have an open mind and go out there and just try other things, and you'll actually end up doing something you really love.
Actually,
but somewhere else.
I wish I knew that before I started a PhD, that I wouldn't, and that there is life outside academia. I didn't know about that.
Outside academia.
That's so really it was just like, I have to be this researcher. I have to be this lecturer. Of course, I still lecture at the university as a hourly paid lecturer.
Yes.
But that is not my daily job.
Your daily
I have a
job.
permanent position as a project director with this company.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your story. And as we can hear, there is a challenge, but she just broke through and she tried something new. So thank you. Thank you, Elizabeth. Now,
I would like to add, but let others.
Okay, we can add a little bit later. That's wonderful. Thank you, Elizabeth. And how about Lynn? We're very excited to know, like, you're already mixing the best of 2 worlds right now, business and technology. So how did you actually get through your journey to your first job?
Yeah, thank you for your questions. So I would say that my journey wasn't so hard. Maybe I was among one of the lucky ones, but right after my graduation, I was looking for some traineeship already while waiting for my graduation. And then I got interview for the position of information management trainee. And I did my research and I contacted those who already in that position for previous year or something to ask for their experience and what do I need to prepare for this position. So I really do my research. And then the interview, of course, ended up pretty well for me because I did my free reading and all the things. So I think that's also really important. And then, of course, I got my offer, luckily. Yeah, and then during my traineeship, I took really proactive approach. Like I get to know the company. I didn't have that mindset of, okay, I'm just gonna be there for like 3 or 4 months. I feel I belong to that organization. I really get to know the company and everyone working there. So yeah, and that then one big project came after my traineeship. So that's why they decided to offer me like a full-time position after that. Yeah.
That is an excellent story, and there's a lot of embedded messages, like how she was proactive, how she was always like trying to make things happen rather than being passively in the sauna seat like us. So we can get to learn a lot from you. Thank you so much, Lynn, for sharing your story.
Thank you, Len. Moving on to Shilan. Shilan, during all these years of staying in this great place, have you found any challenges with integrating, getting along with the culture?
Yes, actually, I wouldn't say on a daily basis, but quite often. It's enough to have black eyes. You go out there, that's it, actually. So, because you're not familiar and people have like assumptions. And everything which is not familiar and safe is a threat, probably to many. But yeah, my career actually started when I started IT technology in Salo campus. After 2 years of studying, I decided to go to, for my Erasmus year, I decided to go to Southampton, United Kingdoms, because they had this path for human resources. And one of my actually tools that I have always used in my studies and in my working life, or in my life basically, is to choose your own path. Don't stay with the crowd, because it doesn't work out easily. If you choose your own path, your own schedules, it will probably come out even better. So I did that. I went to UK to study human resources. I came back, I changed my major to international business. At that point, I realized that, okay, IT is not my thing, codings and stuff, even though I love working with computer, but still. So I chose the path to be more with people and work through different cultures. So the challenges here is, like, as I said before, is like being different, but that's actually the positive part of it. To stay active, even though you look different, even though you are like eating differently than people, you like to talk while you are eating. In Finland, you don't do that. So, but that's something you can use as a tool to succeed. So I have always thought about these small aspects and small differences in my culture, because my nationality is Finnish, but ethnicity is occurred from Iran. So we have there 3 cultures, basically, or 2.5. And then I come to Finland, where we have Finnish and Swedish. So I have learned actually both of them since I was a kid. So there's 4 different cultures to choose from. So I remember my dad and mom always said, choose always the best part of the fruits you have. So I choose from my own, all these 4 cultures, the best parts, and I made it as a one. So that's a Shilan culture, and it actually works really good for me. So do that. Focus on who you are, and focus on what you want, and what do you believe. What you believe is actually gonna turn out to be your life. So, what you believe today is gonna be where you're gonna see yourself in 5 years. So yeah, there have been challenges on the way, but staying positive, staying active, going out there, as I said before to Tarek, be brave and go out there.
Wow,
it's gonna work.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Don't be scared.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for sharing all these things and how to change the little differences into leveraging it into unique, positive things. And it seems like the Shilan culture is picking on the valuable human values, maybe focusing on trust, honesty, and leaving the secondary cultures which comes to food, the way we speak, the way we probably shake hands or kiss or hug as the secondary human culture. So maybe perhaps we all share the same values at the end of the day. Thank you very much, Shilan. Sarah, we would love to hear your story. It seems like you have changed majors and you
Yes,
moved from
somehow.
like you completely, somehow.
Yes, when we moved to Finland, I just wanted to have a job here. And I applied for several positions in Finland, different cities, because the company that I was working for before was like Finnish-based company, and I thought that, okay, that's a big deal and I can find it immediately. But it didn't happen to me. And very soon I understood that knowing the language, the Finnish language, is one of the key factors to just make this journey like the successful for me. So I imagined myself like I'm going uphill on my bike. I can still continue my journey and I can see what is on top of the hill, but this uphill is like this barrier of the facing with the language difficulty. So I started to learn the language. I'm in my way now. And after a while, I decided to be more expert in my field, in the business field. That's why I decided to join the program, Global Innovation Management in University of Turku. And the way that they see the world and the industry in Finland is amazing, because I believe that they see and they try to add more innovative concept and more digitalization into the industry. And this is something that I really felt that I needed to be added to my skills. So after that, when I finish my studies, I will continue seeking for a job for the one that I really like to. But let's see.
I love your optimism. It's a bicycle ride uphill. That's very realistic.
Yes.
But I also like how you're building your profile at the moment. I mean, we
Yes.
met already during the events, and you were project leading
Yes, I forgot to mention about the
Oh.
network.
the networking.
Yeah,
Okay.
why really I decided to stay in Turku? That is the only reason, that because I invest my time and my life here, I built my valuable network here in this city. So it was like happening to me like step to step. I joined to Tourist Information first in 2017, and then through the university I joined Boost Turku, and after that I applied for the membership of the board at Boost Turku. So these are like a chain connected to each other, and they take me towards my goal.
Yes, well said, and nice outlook. Like, it's quite active. As we can see, there's a common denominator here, that we're not just sitting on the sauna bench, but we're going somewhere else. And I think this is something that we can start already the audience takeaway. Now, very interestingly is that we also have a questions and answers. But before we get to the questions and answers, let's ask for each and every one of you one question. And that question is, what would you tell your 20-year-old you, and a piece of advice knowing what you know today? So maybe we can start with Elizabeth.
Okay, my 20 years old self.
20 years in 1 minute. That's going to be
No,
hard.
I wouldn't go back to 20 years, because I would go back, since we are within the context of studying and living in Turku, I want to stay within this context.
Yes.
My 20 years self, I was in Cameroon. Yeah, so let me talk about Finland. So I would go back to when I started my PhD.
Okay.
Yeah, so what I would tell myself is to have an open mindset.
Open mindset.
Yeah, to be open-minded, in the sense that I had this fixed idea that when I get into, I have my PhD, I have this amazing career in academia.
Yes.
But it didn't happen. And be open to new opportunities. When the opportunity came for me to work outside academia, it was a little bit frightening, because it has to do with business, it has to do with communication, it has to do with talking with governments, talking with international organizations, and all of these things. So that's what I'm doing right now. I have no background in business. but this is what I'm doing right now. So it was a little bit frightening for me. But I needed to believe in myself that I've gone through PhD, and PhD has prepared me with the skills I need to succeed in this field I was going into. So I took that opportunity, and I think I found my spot in Finland.
God. This is
At least for
beautiful.
now, I'm happy where I am.
Love it. Love it. Thank you so much, Elizabeth.
Yeah.
And this is a valuable piece of advice. How about Lynn?
Yeah, I would say that I would tell myself that be actively seeking for like job opportunity, like internship or traineeship during my master degree or my bachelor study. It could help a lot, although it's just internship or traineeship, but it could give like some sort of impression that you are actively looking for like real life work experience. And from that you can further develop yourself. I could think so. And also I could say that I should be even more proactive in any sort of situation in life. When looking for a job or when I do my studying or anything, I should be more proactive. And last but not least, I think never stop learning. Either soft skills or technical skills. Never stop learning. Find your passion and then just try to study what you like, and then you will fly away through it.
Well said.
I believe so.
You'll fly away through it.
Yeah.
You hear that, guys? Thank you so much, Lynn.
Thank you, Lynn. Maybe with you two, we can move on to a question that we got from our audience.
Oh.
So it's a very interesting question, actually. It's like, how would you differentiate between hard work and luck? So the key to staying and succeeding, would you say in your case was luck or more of a hard work?
I would say it's hard work and staying positive, seeking for the answers which are very interesting to myself. That's one thing I have always used. If the answer is interesting, then ask the question. Even though it's a stupid question, there is none such as a stupid question. So hard work, developing the already gotten skills, that's another one. Yeah. So if you know that you are good at one field, just go for more, dig deeper. Yeah.
Seek experiences
Yeah.
in different fields and get those education points. What about you, Sarah?
I can add, I really believe in luck as well. But yeah, I agree with Shilan. Hard work really works here in this field. You really need to know yourself, and then you really need to walk through the way that your skills and your interest will take you. So, and also I agree with Elizabeth when she talked about having more studies in the university. In Finland, especially, we are living in a country that they really rely on the education, like high quality education. So I believe that we should never stop learning new stuff.
Well said.
Yeah.
Can I add something to what she said?
Absolutely.
Okay. When you talk that question about if it's luck or if it's hard work, for me, I believe if we talk about luck, for me, it's when hard work meets opportunity. So if you work hard, or if the opportunity presents itself, but you do not have the skills to take up on whatever opportunity that presents itself, then it's gone to waste. So for me, it's that you work hard, and then the opportunity presents itself, and then you fly with it.
Perfect.
So
You fly with it. I like how you're using Lynn's words. You know, I remember also I remember Professor Richard Simonson, what he used to say. He used to always tell us back in college, the harder I work, the luckier I get. And I think there's some truth in that phrase. But this brings us to the end of this amazing panel discussion. Thank you all for being with us here today. And please, guys, let the conversation keep going. We can see there's already questions coming in, and of course the conversation doesn't stop here. You of course can connect with our amazing panelists, and with that, we'd like to now get to the last part of the day and say our goodbyes.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you, the panelists, and thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you for having
everyone.
me. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
What is going on? Did you guys see this? Like the chat box is on fire. We
my
have
God.
people from Iran,
Oh.
India, Ukraine, Lyon, France. We have Czech Republic, Beijing, Italy, Spain, Belgium,
Oh my
Bangladesh,
God, oh my
Algeria.
God, that's a
Okay,
lot.
that's a very long list. We thank you guys once again, and we wish you a very.
Hold on. I mean,
What?
I kept cutting you, but you had a sauna story you wanted to say since the beginning.
Of course, the sauna story, the key to success in Finland.
Yeah.
Okay, so he came to me in the lab, all right, and I was all like working on my specimen, and he came to me and he said, Tarek, your first priority is your PhD. However, your most important priority is actually, and that's the key to success in Finland, sauna.
What?
Yes, yes.
Oh my God. It all makes sense now. That's what it is. That's
Yes.
what Camila said. Build
Yes.
the community. That's what
Yes.
Juan said. Go out there.
Yes.
And our amazing panelists too.
Yes.
They just said go out there, get connected with people, network, the
Be
Finnish
active.
style, go to the sauna.
Exactly.
In different ways and every way possible, they said the same message. And that's what Lipolassila,
Yes, that's what he said every day.
He told us
every
every
day
day.
is a sauna day.
joka päivä on saunapäivä.
With that, guys, we thank you, the panelists.
Thank
we
you
thank
all.
you, the viewers. You're from all around the world, and you are the people that make this region international. So thank you once again, and see you next year.
Thank you very much. See you around in Turku.